What's up, everybody? Welcome to a Robnostication for September 22 into October 22. That's going to tell you what's happening in Las Vegas real estate in the next month to come or so, and maybe a couple little things beyond that I'm going to talk about that I think are coming that we all need to be aware of. Check it out on the other side. Bam. All right, thanks for sticking around. I hope you take a second to subscribe to my channel. There's a whole lot more where this comes from, and I'm going to give you 2 seconds actually to do that. That is going to happen in 1, 2. Did you subscribe? I hope you did subscribe. I'm Rob Howe, Rockstar Realtor, and if you just subscribed, that makes you the rock star, and I'm just your realtor, and I'm here to tell you about what's been happening in Las Vegas, Nevada. What's going to happen next? What did I get right from my previous Robnostication? I'll jump right into that. As usual, when I go month to month, I'm going to be a little conservative on things, but I do want to be right. You know, I'm going to put my finger into the wind and really feel where everything is going. I'm going to start with the median home price. The median home price went down by $15,000. I had predicted that it might go down by $10,000 to $20,000. That's why I'm saying I was being conservative, because I was kind of hedging it in there somewhere. It went right in the middle at $15,000. I think I said on Angela O'Hare's show that it was going to be right around $15,000. We had a drop in the median home price. This, I'm going to just jump right to another Robnostication, is going to continue. There is no doubt about it. I think we're going to be around $10,000 lower next month for the median home price. And it may get a little bit worse after that. So pay attention to my next Robnostication, which is going to be for October to November, because that one, we could start seeing some chunkier numbers because the Fed has really put a strong hold on the rate. That's another thing I talked about, the interest rate last month. I talked about that the interest rate was going to go up by at least 0.25%. I did my Robnostication early on, and in between now and then, I realized it's going to be for sure at least 0.75%. I mean, basically, they said that it was going to be. The only question is whether or not it was going to be a full point. So we got to 0.75%. I did say and warned everybody, hey, it's coming. The interest rate is
going to go higher.
The question next is, will they move it up again in October? I don't think we'll see another rate movement in October. We could see something later than that at this point. I think they're going to let this last rate movement set in, because this one is really heavy. It really hit the market heavy. It's having this compounding effect. Now you're seeing rates over 6%. That scares a lot of buyers out of the market. And, you know, that is certainly, if you're a seller, that's concerning to you, because everything that's been happening is commensurate with the interest rate movements. I will keep saying this. We had this absolute massive jump in prices over the last couple of years, massive, unprecedented jump. So the good news is you've got a lot of equity if you bought, prior to the last couple of years. The bad news is that you're losing that equity. It's like the Titanic is sinking. That's a harsh way to put it, but it is a little bit like that. It's taking on water. The thing is, the Titanic's not going to sink. Okay, people predicting 2008. I just had to do some math on 2008. I had a property. This is just, anecdotal to this one property, but there are numbers out about how much we actually lost from, the 2008 crash. That was a real crash. That had multitude of different reasons for that happening. And clearly there was massive job losses. There were foreclosures going crazy. The mortgage system, the way you got mortgages, was so different. Okay, so now what you're seeing is for one reason. It's one reason. But back in 2008, I had a property that was $240,000. That was what I purchased the property. It appraised for in 2006. And by the time it was all said and done, that property was worth around $50,000. So it was an 80% loss on that property, 80%. So anybody who says, we're going to have a crash that's going to be similar to 2008, you have lost your marbles unless you know a couple of things that would be very important to know when you make that statement. which would have to do with massive job losses, massive. I mean, I'm talking massive, and maybe even some issues with these loans, which just aren't there. You have much lower rates that people were getting, and you have much more cash that people were putting into these. Back then, they were getting those loans, as we all know, or many of us know, a reiteration I always want to have, many people were getting those loans for nothing. They were basically being paid to move into them. People are going on vacation with the money they're supposed to put back in their house, okay? This is so far different. So something would have to happen that I certainly could not foresee. And just going with what we know, absolutely taking a look at responsibly at the market, we are not going to see anything near a 2008 80% value crash. Okay, I could see maybe giving back everything that we have gained in the last couple of years, maybe. Okay, that's if some other shoes drop, and that would be a 40-some% value decrease from where the highs were in about spring of 2022 this year. I could maybe buy into that. Still, some things would have to happen in order for us to see that. Because right now, one reason, interest rates. The Fed is doing this on purpose, folks. They are doing this on purpose. They don't want you to take that loan. They want this money to cost more for people. It has to do with the inflation that's out there. I'm going to bounce around a little bit. By the way, I got inventory correct. Of course, we had more inventory. That was an easy call. Inventory is going to keep clicking up. But, again, technically a buyer's market at 6 months of inventory. We're not even at that. We won't be at that when the next numbers come out. So expect more inventory, but we're not seeing this massive glut just yet. I think that maybe as we go through the end of the year, by the end of the year, we could start seeing some pretty heavy inventory out there. And if you really want to know where your opportunities lie, I think you need to stay tuned till the end of this video. But one of the concerning things I see out there, that you hear about is we are having the slowest sales pace since May 2020. Okay, May 2020. Do you remember, anybody recall what was happening around then and why that might have been pretty slow? Well, that was right around the start of the pandemic. It was, March, April, May. We were just starting to get people to go, oh, well, maybe they'll go out and start looking at property again. We went into lockdown. And then, of course, April was basically dead. May started peaking up. But we have the slowest sales pace since May. And that will get worse. I think that's going to we're going to have a slower sales pace in the next couple of months. It's either going to be that people just sort of say, you know what, I see my opportunity. I see where the sellers are going to give me money to buy down my rate. I'm going to be able to buy a house at a reasonable price that I feel is something that I can deal with. My consistent advice has been is if you're looking at the rock and the hard place of rent versus buy, and you can go out and take advantage of purchasing your property as long as you're looking at 3 to 5 years plus of living in that home, I think you should absolutely do that and take a look at that if that makes sense to you.
Rent rates are not getting cheaper, folks.
They're not going down. So yeah, the recent rate movement is going to do the job the Fed wants. It's finally going to hit it hard enough, I think. The Fed is basically triggering a recession. We're already in one, but officially that won't be announced until I'm sure after the election, because it's all politics right now. It really is. I hate to say it, folks, but that's just the truth. I want to talk about some pluses and minuses of what we're going to see. A minus that I think is a problem is that even when rates come down, people will not be able to afford buying a home. There will be many people who will not be in a position to buy a home. It is going to be because the Fed gets what it wants. I've heard the figures of something like at least 2 million jobs need to be lost right now as part of this deal that they want to quell inflation. When I think about people losing jobs, when I think about people having to fight higher prices and all these things, and then it comes time to purchase a home, and they haven't been able to save money. If you've been renting, you've been putting all your money to rent. So even when rates come down, it's not going to be suddenly a free for all for buyers. But here's the bright side. The bright side is those that can be patient, those that can save money, can take advantage of this when we get to the other side, when the Fed decides to pull down rates some more. And now you'll be in a position where prices will have come down and rates will have come down. And this will ideally spark a more healthy market. Those that would like to get involved but have been pinched probably won't be able to get involved right away. But hopefully over time, they can recoup, they can start getting back on track. And again, healthy market. I want a healthy market. That's what I'm looking for. So look, the opportunities may be ahead, especially for cash buyers. I'm going to keep saying that. I think if you're looking for a property in the next, towards the end of the year, beginning of the year, especially if we see any more rate movements, anybody out there that needs to sell, that needs to get it done, is going to be looking to get that done with you. They're going to be taking that cash and running with it. I really believe that's going to be the case. So quickly going back over everything, we're going to see the median home price go down. We're going to see inventory go up. We're probably not going to see a rate movement in October. I'd be very surprised if we do. That might be saved for November. And your opportunities ahead, especially with cash. And if you're a seller right now, you just need to do what's right for you. If you need to get this done, it's time to get aggressive, okay? Make a buyer happy. The ones that are out there that are buying, there are buyers out there. They are looking for a deal and you need to give it to them. And that's just the way it is. I'm sorry, but we have had absolute massive run-ups that are now, we're going to give back, okay? We're in a correction period. We're in what I would call controlled demolition right now. We are in a controlled demolition. Like it or not, I don't believe this was handled correctly almost a year ago when they could have raised rates to help us out. Instead, it was handled late, and now here we are. Now things have to be dealt with in a much more heavy-handed way. Not my fault, folks, but here I am to tell you the scenario. Listen, if you want some more of where this came from, make sure to sign up for my channel. If you need to talk to me directly, you can do so. I'm happy to talk to anybody. And remember, if you're looking for a realtor, now you know how. Rob Howe in Las Vegas, Nevada. I work for Elite Realty. I work for you when you're ready. Thanks for watching this Robnostication. I'll see you on the next one. Boom.